Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll get started in just a second, but in the meantime, if you want to drop in the chat where you are tuning in from. I'm currently in DC for this webinar. Love to hear where everyone else is. New York, wow. Okay. Let's see, Pittsburgh, Charlottesville, Falls Church, Connecticut, welcome, Virginia. Okay. Lots of New York, New Jersey, San Diego, welcome, Ram, Denver, Bethesda, lovely. I thought I'd see more Maryland, but we've got some representation. This is wonderful. Daytona Beach, lucky Angie. Oh, how awesome. Silver Spring, that's great. Well, feel free to keep letting us know where you're tuning in from, but I am going to get started for the sake of a prompt start time. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ellie Garrity. I'm the Director of Alumni Career Programs for the University of Maryland's Alumni Association. We're so excited that you're able to join us for today's webinar, 7 Signs You Need to Hire a Coach, presented in partnership with the Coach's Corner program, a new UMD Alumni Association professional development resource accessible to all Terps. We have a lot of information to cover today, but we will take questions throughout the webinar. Feel free to submit any question using the chat function on your Zoom panel. You'll also have a chance to ask our coaches questions during our breakout session. So feel free to hold your individual questions until then. This webinar is being recorded. By participating, you acknowledge and consent to your image, likeness, or voice being recorded. Speaking of recording, a recording and slides from today's webinar will be available and shared with you following today's session. You may also access our closed captioning feature by clicking the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom panel. Okay. So before we let our Terp coaches introduce themselves, I'm going to take a minute to share a little bit about our new Coaches Corner program. So first, a little data for you. The Alumni Association put out a survey in 2020 and has been using all of that information to help guide our programs moving forward. So with the feedback, we recognize the need to build tangible, curated career resources and opportunities for Terps to connect, the need to elevate Terp business owners, the need to provide Terps with meaningful opportunities to enhance their personal and professional lives, and create an extended branch from the Alumni Association Career Programs team. I am a team of 2, and we have all these coaches on here who are professional experts who can also support all the Terps out there. So with that knowledge in mind, we created the Coaches Corner program. What we did there was we vet 9 distinguished Terp coaches with various coaching backgrounds, have been coaching for a various amount of time, various industries. So they're all coming from different backgrounds, have different areas of expertise, and work with different coaches, or excuse me, they work with different professionals at different stages of their career. And these coaches are committed to helping their Terps with their professional lives. They will be providing top quality coaching at a discounted price, which is an important piece here. They're giving a discount to all their fellow Terps, and they'll also be participating in different webinars on career and professional development topics, like today's webinar, the Coaches Corner, 7 reasons that you need to be working with a coach. So today, you all get the chance to hear from our distinguished coaches in this program and learn about the 7 reasons clients are coming to them. And you'll be able to speak with them individually to see if they may be a good fit for you. So I'm done talking now. I'm handing it right over to the coaches. So I'll let our first coach introduce herself. Joy, the floor is yours.
All right.
Oh,
well,
I'm so sorry, Joy. I forgot one. I had one more slide left. I'm sorry, Joy. One more slide. So you might be asking yourself, this all sounds so wonderful. I can't wait to meet these wonderful coaches. But how does this work, Ellie? So all of the coaches' profiles live on our webpage. I will send you the link. I'll drop it in the chat. There on our website, you can find their pricing information. You can find out more about what they're offering as a discount to their fellow Terps. You can learn more about their bio, their backgrounds, their coaching method, and their specific areas of expertise. So Terps can come onto our website, find a coach that makes the most sense for them to work with, and then connect with them individually through their web pages, through LinkedIn, or through our new Terp business directory. Okay, here we go. Now I can hand it right over to you, Joy, to introduce yourself.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Joy Brown, a career strategist, business and life coach, and I'm here to educate, equip, and empower you to walk in your purpose. So if you are ready to be prepared and positioned for the next opportunity, your next promotion, your next move, career transition, again, I specialize in career and business development, life skills, and again, I'm interested in get a chance to meeting all of you. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Cardy, and I run a career coaching firm specializing in helping professionals who are at some type of crossroads where you don't like what you're doing, but you're not sure what you want to be doing next. We help you to figure that out. We're more on the soul search side of things rather than the job search. So we're that step of getting clarity about what you're really wanting, what's going to be a good fit for you, so that you can make that transition and get into a career path that feels really great for you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Angie Dobransky. I am your partner for Radical Success. I work with business owners and executives to help them build the businesses that they dream of. We set goals and objectives. We teach them the skills that they need to know, but more importantly, we help them become the business owner or executive they need to effectively lead and grow their teams. I look forward to a conversation with anyone that needs a little help with their business. I'm Angie Dobransky. Nice to meet you all.
Looks like Ellie might be frozen. So Lauren, do you want to go ahead next?
I am next alphabetically. Take it. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Lefkowitz. I am an executive leadership coach, and I work with the people who are always there for other people. I work with executives, people who are on the executive track, directors, managers, who are stuck in this trap of being fine. I think fine is a trap. I think you are ready to believe in more. And I'm here to help you break the work, sleep, repeat cycle and find the life that you love and the career that you love.
Hello, my fellow Terps. Lovely to be here today with you all. My name is Jessica Portney. I am an executive and leadership coach and founder of my company, Journey On. I partner with mission-driven leaders of all different levels to help them seek inward in order to lead outward. I'm passionate particularly about supporting women, but really there to support anyone who has a sense of a larger purpose in this world. Eager to meet and get to know all of you during our smaller breakout rooms today, and happy to be of service in any way possible.
Hello, fellow Terps. My name is Michael Seelman, and I'm the CEO and executive coach with the Leadership Coach Group. We'd be honored to be your partner for leadership growth. So we work with both individual executives and with organizations. We provide leadership coaching, team coaching, leadership training, leadership assessments, personality assessments, and inspirational speakers. So please reach out if we can be of service. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, coaches. And sorry for my brief technical difficulties. We do actually have a special surprise. One of our coaches made a special appearance today. You'll see a lot more of him in the future when we do future webinars, but I'll just give him a chance to introduce himself just because he's here. So go ahead, Alan, if you'd like to give a quick intro.
Sure. Am I unmuted? No. Right.
Yeah,
Hi,
you're great.
Yeah, I am unmuted. Hi, I'm Alan Freed. I'm a career coach. I work with people who have great jobs they can't stand. You know, those professionals who've achieved a certain degree of success or a title, or they went to law school and have a law degree, and they feel they're too invested in what they're doing, or they've been too successful at what they're doing, that they don't have other options. I help them figure out that transition so they can have the career, the inspiring career they always intended to.
Fabulous. Thanks for joining us, Alan. So we are going to jump right in to the 7 signs that you need to hire a career coach. I'm going to run through these and our coaches will be giving comments on all 7 of these. Feel free to type in the chat if this relates to you or you sense that this might be you at this current moment, and you can just drop that in the chat. But we will just go ahead and start with number 1. The first sign that you need to hire a coach is you have a lot of vague ideas in your head about what you could be doing, but you're overwhelmed and you can't take action. So I'm going to pass this right over to Allison to kick things off. How do you feel about this one, and where do you see this showing up with your clients?
Sure. So the real power of coaching is that it helps you do things that would be really hard to do by yourself, and ask more of you, encourages you, and helps you on your way. So the way I see this in my practice is when people know that they want to make a change, they're pretty clear that there are things that what they don't want, oftentimes their current job, but they're feeling really vague or uncertain about what direction is going to be a better fit for them. And what I see with people is that it's kind of like it's difficult to make a change when you don't know where you're aiming. It's sort of like if you just pick up a dart and throw it, but you don't know where the dartboard is. Sometimes what can happen in job searching in particular is we just try to fix the problem and start sending out resumes, but we don't have a clear target, and we can wind up feeling discouraged or uncertain. So if you're not really sure what you could be doing and you're feeling overwhelmed, then having a coach to help you get clarity is going to be really helpful for you.
Thanks, Allison. Lauren, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people get to this point in their career where they feel like they should know everything and they should like hit a level where they don't need to want more. And yet, as busy as we are, we dream of all of these things like, oh, I'm doing this part of my job today, and if this could be my whole job, it would be amazing, but I'm stuck in all of this. And so it's hard to make the headspace to think about what those vague ideas even are and how to formulate them into real ideas and then take action. And so having a coach gives you the opportunity to be with yourself, with a coach, with the support of a coach, and have time just for you, just to sort out, what do you not want anymore? What's in the way? What's all the noise? And then to start thinking about, what could you be doing? What are you interested in? How interested are you? Is it something you feel like you should be doing or something you actually want to do? And then you get to really build it. But the overwhelm comes from all of this vague, like, I could do this, I should do this, other people are doing this. And it's really hard to figure all of that out by yourself.
Well, okay, moving on to number 2. Okay, you want to bring your leadership and the performance of your team to the next level. It's a sign that you need to hire a coach. I'm going to pass that one off to Michael. Can you get us started?
Happy to do that. So as mentioned earlier, the name of our company is the Leadership Coach Group. So this is the type of challenges that we help clients with all the time. And you might be facing a challenge that you're having trouble with, or that you're feeling like you're not having a good work-life balance because you have so many responsibilities as a business executive or a leader in your organization. Or you may be looking at your team and you're like, I'm not getting the best performance out of my team, or they're struggling, they're not getting along. Those are all things that we can help with. We do both one-on-one coaching for executives, and we also have team coaching where you can help teams interact better by promoting their psychological safety and coaching them so that we can help them get greater performance.
Thank you, Michael. Angie, what do you have to add to that?
You know, one of the things that I hear from my clients quite a lot is frustration with the level of performance of their team. And then at some point they have this awakening where they go, oh my gosh, it's always about the people, isn't it? And there's a direct relationship in people's ability to lead and the performance of their team. And at some point when we become frustrated with those working, you know, with us and for us and alongside of us, we realize it's ourselves that we have to change instead of them. And if you're feeling that way, you know, that's something that a coach can really help you with.
Great. Jessica, anything else you want to add to that before we move on to number 3?
I think those are really clear. What Michael and Angie shared. It's a reminder that leadership is not just about ourselves, but also the teams and the organizations that we're a part of. So well said, Michael and Angie.
Great. Okay, number 3, you are lacking confidence and trust in yourself and your executive level decision making. Ooh, okay. Actually, Jessica, I'll pass this one back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that there are many of us in this room, including myself, that have experienced that lack of confidence in some point. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the term imposter syndrome, but feeling like an imposter as you're moving through your career, your life, and just in general. And really having that belief in ourselves is really what gives us the power to be able to feel in control of our lives and to feel that we have a clear sense of direction in where we're going. I think it's particularly in my experience common for this to be a feeling that many women have, feeling as though this lack of confidence is being undermined at different points by society, by our families. This kind of lack of trust in ourselves and our decision making is not only coming from within, there's also external factors that really create the environment that perpetuates those feelings. And then I'd say that I've also seen this in emerging leaders quite often as well, as we're just beginning in our careers and we're still figuring out what our leadership style is, what our leadership identity is. It's really common to feel that lack of confidence and trust in ourselves. So working with a coach gives you the opportunity to get to know yourself better, to get really clear on what your values are, what your vision is for the work that you're doing, for the difference that you want to make, and having those as your guideposts, your northern stars as you move through your life, your leadership journey, and having a partner to help remind you of those and bring you back to those is a really valuable tool.
Angie, anything to add as it relates to the executive level group?
You know, one of the things that was mentioned is that women tend to suffer from lack of confidence. And I have to say that being lucky enough to have a lot of very intimate and trusting conversations with executives of all genders over the past 15 years, I don't think it's gender specific. I think the men may hide it a little bit better, but I certainly know my male executives have the same lack of confidence in you know, their decision making as my female executives. And depending on where you are in your career, if you've reached the upper levels of the executive echelons, you may or may not have realized that at that point, we're all just making it up. And so people start to go, I'm just making this up. Who is it? Who am I to have people listen to me? And I frequently have to reassure executives that yes, we're all making it up. We're testing things and we're seeing what works, and we are given the ability to do that because of the wealth of experience and knowledge we've already shown that we have.
Great, I love that. I've heard Angie say that a couple times about we're all just making it up.
We are.
Okay, moving on to the next one. Number 4, you are being overlooked for a promotion or opportunities and you do not know why. Joy, I'm going to pass that off to you to speak on.
And so, yes, I definitely have worked with clients who sometimes are in a position that they're unhappy, they're being unfulfilled, they feel like they've been overlooked for opportunities and promotions. And so working with the coach will help you discover kind of your skill sets and what is happening in your environment. And then also, if you feel like you're overlooked, we are able to explore those opportunities where I call it, you can create your own path. As a career strategist, you are the author of your destiny. And so you have the power to change your situation. And so oftentimes there are opportunities that could be around you when you have a different perspective, or you're able to explore a different perspective to see, figuring out how you can be able to show up differently, how be able to see your presence be known at your workforce and everything. And creating those opportunities will help you, again, won't be overlooked. So helping you walk in your gifts is definitely something that a coach can help you with.
Lovely. I love that. Lauren, do you have anything to add about how you as a coach would kind of work with someone that's being overlooked for a promotion or other opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything Joy said. Plus, I think there are certain workplaces where you're really good at what you do. And so your manager doesn't want to see you go somewhere else, because then there's going to be a hole in their world. And while you are so skilled and while you're ready for promotion, the easy thing for the company, for the department, for your manager is to keep you in place. It's also kind of easy for you because you're comfortable with the job. And so you have this sort of wish, hope, dream of being promoted, and you keep working towards it, and you're sort of banging your head against the same wall. So like Joy said, sometimes you have to look around and outside your immediate surroundings. And sometimes that's within the same company, and sometimes it's outside the company. And that's when it gets really scary, because if you've been somewhere for a while and you're not getting promoted, you've been beaten down. And like Jessica said about imposter syndrome, you start to feel like maybe I don't deserve this. If I go somewhere else, I'm going to have to take a step down before I take a step up. And so a coach can really help you figure out, what are your skills and abilities? What's real about what you're good at, and what are you imagining you're not good at because you've been knocked down over and over in your current position. And a lot of my clients come to me in this position where they've been taking on side jobs inside the company and doing extra stuff so they can prove themselves. And one of my clients went to another company doing all the side work as her main job because that's what she fell in love with, and got a $40,000 raise doing it because we built up her confidence. So if you're being overlooked for promotion and opportunities, the real opportunity in working with any one of us, with any coach, is really figuring out what the missing pieces are so that you can build yourself up to get the confidence to get promoted within or outside.
Wow, that's a great example. A $40,000 raise to do the side work that they were doing for free elsewhere. That's great. Okay, number 5, you are in a new position you've never held before, and you just don't really know what to do. Let's see, Angie, do you want to speak to the executive side of that?
Yeah, this comes into play a lot in the executive play when people first get promoted from, say, management into executive leadership, when people get their first position of, say, president or CEO, or particularly when executives quit their job to start their own business. So while we're used to being, competent and professional and able and rewarded, all of a sudden we're in a job with nobody to model after, right? Because we've kind of reached the top and we don't really know what we're supposed to be doing. One of my clients is CEO of a good sized company. And when he became the CEO in one of our early coaching sessions, he said, my biggest challenge every day is I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, all the parts of the company are being done and my desk is clear and I'm not, what am I supposed to do? And this is a man who, honestly made millions of dollars in his lifetime and built an amazing company, and then when he reached the top, really didn't know what to do. So that this is where a coach can, when you don't have a model, or a mentor, somebody next to you, a coach can really help you to discover how to succeed at every role.
Anything to add to that, Jessica? What you would maybe do working with someone who's just unclear on what to do in a new role?
Yeah, I I see this a lot in my work with emerging and mid to senior level career leaders, either the experience of making your mark in your career just as you're beginning, and not really knowing how do you translate what you've learned at school into a career for yourself. That's certainly a challenging leap. And really understanding, how do you want to show up every day? How do you build relationships? How do you even just schedule your time and know what to prioritize, what to do first, is very common with emerging leaders. And then with mid-career leaders, I work with a lot of clients that are either stepping into their first management position, their first position of managing managers of teams. And it can be very overwhelming, and really having a sense of what is your leadership style, what is your leadership identity, because sometimes we do have those models or don't have those models, as Angie mentioned, but it doesn't mean those models are who you want to be as a leader. And really understanding what that means for you is part of the work that one does with a career coach or a leadership coach, and having someone who is that sounding board for you so that you can keep learning as you're going, not just figuring it out once you begin, but also being that sounding board for you as you reflect on your experiences and how you might want to do it differently in the future as well.
That's such a great point. The leaders that we have as our examples aren't necessarily the leaders that we are to become or that are true to us. So great point, Jessica. Okay, so we are nearing the end. Number 6. This is a great one. You are one of the people who are taking the self-assessments, you're Googling different job titles, you're reading all the self-help books, but you're really not finding the answer. Allison, tell us what it's like working with those types of clients and how you can support them.
Sure. So I think this is a really big sign, because it indicates that you have successfully identified there's a problem, right? It's sort of like you're trying to find the answer, you realize there's something off in your career, and you're trying to make an improvement. And I think for really capable professionals, our kind of go-to is to try to solve things ourselves. Like, we're good problem solvers, we're good in the workforce, and we take that kind of initiative and try to research or take quizzes or assessments or read self-help books. But what I see with many of our clients is people are doing all those things, but not really getting results. And what I want to note, particularly around the problem that I work with, which is helping professionals to get clear on their own path, there's nothing wrong with you if you're having this happen. Getting clarity on yourself is kind of a weird problem, because we're so close to ourselves. So when you're reading all of this information, you're still not having really good perspective on yourself, which is something that a coach can bring to you. I think of it sort of like if I had a problem with my car and I'm not super handy with it and I don't know where the issue is or what to do with it. But if I take my car into a mechanic and they work with cars all the time, they can spot immediately where the issue is. The same thing happens with coaching. Because we work with so many different individuals and we see patterns and can spot things that you can't see, you can really resolve things a lot more quickly when you bring in that outside help. And what I've seen with clients is people who have that real self-starter trying to figure things out, when we add a coach into that mix of your determination and perseverance and desire to get things to a better place, it can move you forward in leaps and bounds.
Allison, can I jump in on that? Because I got a note from a client today and it made me actually laugh out loud. And it said, thank you, whatever, but I don't always love what you make me realize, but I certainly respect what you do for me. And I think that just really sums it up. We allow people to see sides of themselves they cannot see on their own.
Very insightful. Michael, was there anything you wanted to add on that one?
Yes, absolutely. So to build on what my colleagues have shared, is that this indicates to me, if you have this sign where you're Googling or doing self-assessment, you're reading self-help books, that you're in a growth mindset. You're interested in growing. And that's a great candidate for coaching. Coaching could be really beneficial to you. As my colleagues were saying, sometimes when you just read a book or you take a training or you do an assessment, it rarely leads to behavior change by itself. And that's where a coach can come in and be really, really helpful to take lessons you might learn and help you implement them, to put them in action as a leader, and so that you can actually see the tangible benefits and you can create new habits, new healthy habits of doing these things you've read about and then other things that your coach may expose you to. So I love working with folks that have that growth mindset. We can do a lot of great work together as we collaborate.
That's awesome. What I hear from you all with this one is that it sounds like these folks are super motivated. They just need the right tools to get where they need to be. These sounds like some of your favorite clients. I'm sure you don't have favorites, but it sounds like these are some of your favorite clients, the ones that are really motivated like this. Okay, so last but not least, our 7th sign you need to hire a coach is you are overworked or underpaid or underappreciated, and you're afraid to say no, set boundaries, and ask for help. This is a huge one. Lauren, I'm going to pass this off to you to get us started.
Yes, this is my favorite one of the 7. I know I shouldn't be biased. All those signs are valid, but these are most of the clients that I work with. And what typically happens is you're doing a good job, you're an achiever, you're a hard worker, and you get asked to participate in more stuff, and you're super flattered, and you're really excited, and you're climbing, and you're so happy. And then you get asked to do more stuff and you're not as excited about that stuff, but you do it because they trust you and you want to be trusted and you want to get promoted. So you take on more work and you take on more work and you take on more work. And then you stop getting promotions and you stop getting raises and you're just the vice president of all the things that need to get done. And you start to feel overwhelmed. You start to resent it. And then you go off this cliff and you're like, I don't want to do any of this anymore. That's burnout. That's when you hit burnout. And you don't know how to get out of it because you've never set boundaries. You've never said no. You've never asked for help. Anytime anyone says like, hey, you doing okay? You're saying, yeah, I'm doing fine. Fine is a trap. Remember that. And you're not fine, but you are afraid that if you pull back on anything, you're going to get fired or demoted or not trusted with the stuff that you do want to do because people think, oh, she's overwhelmed. He's overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. I don't want to give them any more to do. And so working with a coach can help you really slowly, really deliberately set boundaries, create parameters for who and how you want to be at work, talk to your boss or your colleagues about what your limits are, and learn to set those boundaries. And then you have the headspace to decide what you do want to take on and which lane you do want to work in.
Fine is a trap. That's the main takeaway. I mean, lots was said there, Lauren. That was wonderful. Jessica, anything you want to add to this last number 7?
Yeah, first, a huge ditto to everything that Lauren shared. I definitely see this as being one of the areas that clients are coming to me for the most, especially folks that are really super passionate about what they do. They have a real sense of mission that what they're working for is so important that many of us, myself included in the past, will put that mission before our own needs. And in our society, our Western society, we tend to wear overwork as a badge of success and a badge of pride, right? Whoever works the most hours, who's ever stretched the most thin, we see that as something to be really proud of. And if the pandemic has had any silver lining, it's the awareness that we all want more in our lives than just our jobs. We all have so much more to who we are as people than just being at the office. And figuring out in a society and in a world that works against that desire, how do we find the courage, the strength to set those boundaries, to say no, and to carve out our own way in the way that feels right for us? And what I find with many of my clients is that while scary, it's really redefining one's self-worth and redefining what is it about us as human beings that is intrinsically of value, that doesn't need to be recognized through putting ourselves, through the ringer. And so really helping clients get to that point, I think is one of the greatest joys, because this is how I feel very passionately that our work with individual clients on a one-to-one level is having a transformational effect on a societal and global scale.
Wonderful. Okay, so we reached the end of our 7 steps. So I'm just gonna avert your eyes. Sorry if it bothers you if I go backwards, but I'm just gonna read them all one more time. Folks have done a great job putting in the chat which ones really resonate with them, but I'll give you another chance to do so now. So number 1, you have a lot of vague ideas in your head about what you could be doing, but you're overwhelmed and can't take action. Number 2, we have you want to bring your leadership and the performance of your team to the next level. Number 3, you're lacking confidence and trust in yourself and your executive level decision-making. Number 4, you are being overlooked for your promotion / other opportunities, and you don't know why. Number 5, you're in a new position you've never held before, and you do not know what to do. Number 6, you're taking all those self-assessments, you're reading those self-help books, but you're not finding the answer. And number 7, you're in the category of overworked and underpaid or underappreciated, and you're having a hard time setting boundaries and asking for help. So feel free to just drop in the chat which ones are really resonating with you. I love that folks have really finding some that speak to them specifically. So awesome, thanks. Dustin, number 1 through 4 and 6, number 7 and a little bit of 4. I mean, I don't mean to say lovely, because we know these all mean signs that you need to work with a coach, or you would benefit from working with a coach, but I'm glad you found something that you can align with here. That's awesome. Thanks, everyone. So for the next part of this webinar, you will actually have the chance to talk one-on-one with any of the coaches. I know they were able to do brief intros in the beginning, sharing a little bit about their areas of expertise, but we'll let you kind of choose which room you'd like to go to. If you'd like to meet multiple coaches, you can jump in and out of different breakout rooms, but I will put the breakout rooms up here and let people choose where they'd like to go. If you have specific questions that you'd like to ask a coach, this is a really wonderful time to do so. You'll get some one-on-one time with any of these coaches in the breakout rooms. So unless there are any other questions, I'm just going to open up the breakout rooms. The coaches will know to go to each of their rooms. We'll have 1 through 6 rooms. Let participants choose their rooms, and everyone just let me know. Open, oops, give me 1 second, technical difficulties. Room 1, room 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm opening all the rooms now. So thumbs up if you see the ability to go to a room. Lovely, I see all the thumbs. If you're having any technical difficulties, feel free to just hang back. I'm happy to chat with you and figure out where to go, but I'll leave this slide up so you can see which folks you want to chat with and which room you may want to go to. So we will see you back here in a few. Michael, do you need some help getting to room number 6? There he goes. There we go. Okay, everybody's got some people. Brian, do you need help going to a room? I might be able to get you there.
No, I'm just, I'm not sure where to go.
Oh, okay. I can, do you want me to refresh who potentially some of these folks are?
No, or I'll try Allison's, I guess.
Great. We'll see you in a bit.